I'm back. What a week. It has been a crazy, crazy, crazy week. Work is crazy. Family life was a little hard this week. Well, a lot hard with everything going on with my mom, but she seems to be doing better. Work is just so busy. I work for a bank in the mortgage department, and the company I worked for before this, we did maybe 12 loans in a month if we were lucky. And that happened, I don't know, maybe once or twice in the year and a couple months I was there. So, and at this place where I'm at now, we did almost 600 loans this past month of September. So going from barely 12 to almost 600, huge jump. And it's been a challenge for me because I went in there as the rookie, and because I had about a year's worth of experience. And this job, I always say I kind of bullshit my way through the job to get this job. And the job I had before this was a mortgage company, small mortgage company, and I started off as a receptionist, and they were short a processor position. They had a closer, and that's it. So at the time, the closer was processing. So I started doing some shipping and some post-closing work, and as well as answer the phones, whatever, which was fine. It wasn't a big deal at all. But then the closer, his wife had a baby, and there was child care issues, so he decided that he needed to leave so that he could stay home with his son, and which was fine. So I took over as the lead closer. I mean, the only closer for that matter. So I did closing, and I worked there until last April. And what happened was they couldn't stay afloat any longer, so they got kind of taken over by a bank, and I had the option of staying on or leaving, and I decided to leave and take that chance of not having a job, because I didn't have a job or anything lined up, but I felt like it would force me to aggressively search for a job. And I was willing to take that chance because I knew that I was capable of the position, and I knew I deserved more money than what I was making, because if I would have stayed on, it would have been the same amount of money. It would still be part-time because I was only working 30 hours a week, and this is hourly, no benefits, no nothing. And I felt like it was degrading for me, so I left, and I aggressively searched for a job. I physically mailed letters. I went online. I did the monster.com thing. I went to a ton of interviews, and finally went for an interview for this bank. And it was very intimidating because this was a very big company. And I interviewed with the vice president and then the closing manager, and then they said they were going to do a background check and all that. And I was a little worried because my credit is not the best, because I went through some financial problems when I got divorced before. So I didn't think it was going to happen, and I waited a couple weeks and didn't hear nothing. Then one day I got an email from the VP, and he said, "When can you start?" And that was it. And I started and went through vigorous training and everything, and we used the same software, but they kind of did things differently, more intense. But it was better because I was just doing closing, because before I was doing some processing. I was doing shipping and post-closing. So everything has a department where I'm at now. But the thing is, everybody else there for the most part has years of experience. Some people have 25 years, you know, most people have like 10. So it's like, you know, it was very intimidating for me because I had, you know, a little over a year's experience, and so it was very challenging and hard, and I had to work my butt off to learn everything, to get it right, to find a system, you know, because I needed to be organized and to do it, you know. So it was a little touch and go. I didn't know if I was going to survive, and I didn't know, they didn't know that I was going to, you know, be what I am now. And now, thank God, I'm good. I might sound cocky for saying that, but I'm good at what I do. And I keep up with the rest of them. I get things right. You know, so I love my job. It's stressful and sometimes challenging, and you really have to think because there's a lot of math involved. There's just you have to be on your game, because potentially if you screw something up, you could cause a loan to not be able to be sold to an investor. And you know, these are home loans, so it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's a little, it can be stressful, but I know my stuff. I know what's right, what's not. You know, I'm not perfect, nobody is, and you know, sometimes I make mistakes, but I am fully capable of this. And it's amazing because 2 years ago I was working in a little restaurant, okay, making maybe $8 an hour if I was lucky. And now, I'm not going to say what I make, but I make a good living. I have full benefits, paid on holidays, insurance, just my dream. I've worked hard for this, and I deserve it, and I'm blessed for this. So anyways, that's my little story about my job. And I just want to say that I know my last video was a little heartbreaking, but it's important for me to tell the truth. I do have heartbreak. My heart breaks for my kids. My heart breaks for the choices I've made in my past. But I have to keep going. You know, there's a quote that I heard years ago, says, when you're going through hell, keep going. You know, my grandmother, who lost my grandfather this past summer, I had said to her, you know, you're so strong, you know, how do you do it? And she said, you know, what choice do I have? And that's true. When we're going through problems, when we're going through trials, when we're going through situations that we don't think can get any worse, you have two choices, really. You can keep going or you cannot. You know, I choose to keep going. I have sadness, I have pain, I have struggles, I deal with so much, but I have to keep going. You know, my life might not change, and I may never have my kids back, but I'm still their mother, and I have to keep going. That doesn't mean I don't have pain and sadness. I deal with that, you know, every day, but I have to keep going. I still have to live the life and try to have the best life I can, even though I've made mistakes. And some mistakes are not fixable. You can try, but they're just not fixable. But I have to try. And my kids love me. I know that deep down. So here I am. It's Saturday. I'm doing better, have the weekend off. And I'm just thinking back, you know, I started the website MrsFrugalista.com for a reason, to be accountable for my debt, my husband's debt, our debt, be accountable for my spending, you know, try to save money with coupons and all that goodness. And so I'm trying to get back into that. I'm trying to reduce some spending. I mean, I'm not an excessive spender, but I always like to cut corners when I can. So I'm going to get back into that. I need to update some of my, I had some little bars and everything that had about my debt, and that's changed a little bit. I'm still, you know, slowly but surely paying things off, and it's been a good year for that. I've made significant progress with paying off the debt. It's not over yet. I probably have at least another year, but I'm making progress, and I'm proud of me and my husband for what we do. And hopefully when more debt is paid off, then he can cut back with his job and only work one. And it would be such a blessing so that we could just both, you know, be off on the weekends, be home in the evenings, and live a normal life. Because right now we barely see each other because he works 2 jobs. When he's off, I'm working, because I work Monday through Friday, usually sometimes Saturday. So it's challenging. But it's the life we have. We have to make the best of it and keep working hard. And I'm going to be working on some new videos, hopefully later today, just on Mrs. Frugalista and some tips and all that. And I'm also going to make a video on my views of immigration reform. And I have very strong opinions about that and what needs to be done and how we can fix it and what's working and what's not working. And I'm also going to do a video on, it's called the Real ID Act in the state of Maryland, and it's basically saying within a couple of years, only people that can provide documents that they're here legally, that they should be allowed to have driver's license. And Maryland, up until, well, let's see, up until recently, they were one of the few states that you could be an undocumented worker in the United States and get a driver's license. And but this law came out that says within, I think it's 2 more years, you are not going to be able to. You're going to have to prove documentation, or you're going to lose your license. You're not going to be able to renew it. So I have some opinions about that. So I'm going to be doing a video about that. And that's it. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. And signing off, Mrs. Frugalista.